Hello, everyone. Welcome to Supportability Training. In this section, we will review several enhancements related to the WCAG 2.1 AA accessibility standard that have been delivered in this release. From an accessibility roadmap perspective, we are right here at the end of the Q2 1592 release. We have 2 more quarters of work in front of us with plans to obtain the requisite certification at the end of this calendar year. What's new? So this release includes several foundational accessibility improvements encompassing visual design, responsive design, keyboard navigation, and screen readers. More specifically, all aspects of view options were addressed, saved views, the item action bar, the color selection capability in pick lists, toaster messages, the configurable filtering and search capabilities, the board, grid, and timeline view controls, and the attachment common component access from the grid has been updated in this release. In addition, from an overall application visual design perspective, user experience improvements have been incorporated in the form of updated people icons, actions and banners have been improved from a color contrast perspective, and the column panel accessed from the grid has also been updated. So we've got quite a bit of work done. So why is this important? Each of the accessibility improvements are needed to drive adoption. Organizations demand compliance with accessibility standards to ensure that all of their users have access to clarity to perform day-to-day tasks. As I mentioned before, each accessibility improvement considers these 4 pillars mentioned before: visual design, responsive design, keyboard navigation, and screen readers. This is a sample toaster message which has been updated to improve the overall user experience and meet color and contrast and screen reader requirements. When a toaster message appears on screen and a screen reader system is in use, the reader will announce the message content to the user. The pick list. So color and contrast elements of managing pick lists were already in place. In this release, the color selector was updated to meet the needs of keyboard and screen reader users. From an overall visual design perspective, a number of user experience improvements have been incorporated. The people icons have been updated to be gender neutral. Action icons have been improved from a color and con perspective. The left nav menu has been updated from a color and contrast perspective as well. Here on the right side of the page, you can see two new additions in the menu, which will be covered in this week's training. These were a few example banners used in business rules and the roadmap timeline that have been updated to meet color and contrast requirements and mainly improve the overall user experience. Screen reader support for banners is planned for a future release. So in this release, when the screen reader can't announce banner content, but we're certainly looking at that to wrap that up before the end of the year. The column panel has been updated with an additional control to expand and collapse all sections. This control is added where the grid supports multiple objects. The hierarchy and to-do workspaces are examples where a single grid includes multiple investment types where the column panel is used. So let's get to the demo. In this demo, you're going to see how to distinguish key visual design updates between 15.9.1 and 15.9.2. We're going to navigate compliant components using keyboard controls. We'll navigate compliant components using a screen reader as well. And we'll do both of these using the view options component. So let me switch over to the application. Stand by. to see my calendar. Okay. Michelle, just confirm you can see the application.
Can see it, yes.
Thank you. So as mentioned, this release includes several accessibility improvements related to the WCAG 2.1 AA standard. Let me get rid of this one window here. This topic is covered first because you're going to see these visual changes throughout the application as we review each of the new features. Let's explore a few design improvements. And just so you know, in some cases, I'll show both 15.9.2 and 15.9.1 so you can appreciate the differences. So here I am on the project grid. I'm going to expand the navigation menu on the left. I just want to call your attention to the updates to the icons in the main left navigation. I'm going to switch to 15.9.1 so you can appreciate them. Here's the current release, or actually the old release, with their icons. I'll go back to 15.9.2 one more time. You can see those icons and just compare it again back to 15.9.1. So back to 15.9.2. I want to have you focus your attention on the action bars up here in the right of the screen, and also way left here, the export to CSV icon. These icons are bolder and also are more compliant with color and contrast perspectives. So let me switch to 15.9.1. You can see the difference almost immediately, the change in design in these components. So I'll go back to 15.9.2 and you can see the new components in view here. They look good. Okay, so the next update is related to keyboard control for users with mobility impairments. Keep in mind for this release, keyboard control has been implemented at the component level, which means once the user is within a given component, keyboard navigation is supported. We do plan to complete the needed holistic keyboard navigation work by the end of the year. And so I'm going to demonstrate the view options component and show the differences in keyboard support between this release, 15.9.2 and 15.9.1. Forgive me, Vishal, this WebEx window keeps popping up in front of me. All right, so I'm going to start in 15.9.1. I'm going to place my cursor in the search box. And as I navigate, as I use the keyboard, I'm going to tell you which keys I'm using to perform each function. So I've got the cursor here. I'm going to tab over to view options, right? Tab 3 times to get to view options. I'm going to hit the return key. I'm on a Mac. If you're on a PC, you would use the enter key to expose the pull down or the pop-up as expected. So I'm going to hit tab one more time. And as you can see, it kind of skips the pull down and goes straight on through. As I navigate back, it just bypasses it. So this is obviously not the desired effect. So I'm now back in 15.9.2. You can always tell I'm in 15.9.2 with the new icons there over on the left-hand side. Okay, I'm going to put my cursor in the search box just like before and tab over 4 times. Sorry, this window is just popping up like crazy. To view options, I'm going to tab over 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, hit return, and I enter, and you notice the focus is immediately on the close button, which is a desired effect. I'm going to hit tab again, and it takes me into the money decimal display. I use my left-right arrow keys to navigate that and select something. Likewise, tab down to the number decimal display, same thing. I use my arrow keys to choose an option. Continue with the tab. I hit manage pick list. I'm going to hit return to enter this system. And then I use my tab key to navigate all the way to my working list and select return to get into it. And now I'm in my pick list, right? My working list. So I'm going to hit tab to continue through. Whoops, I gotta hit refresh. The WebEx window messed me up. Sorry about that. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I'm continuing to use the tab key to get into my working list. Edit, I'm in. And I'm going to use my tab key to get to the color selectors. I can just use my down arrows or up arrows to go through those and hit return to choose a color and navigate through that list and change it from purple to navy by hitting return again. And as I use my right arrow key, I can go into edit or delete mode. I'll navigate back up, hit the return key from here, and use my right arrow key to position the mouse, or the cursor, I should say, and type in the letter S to update the language, and hit the tab key now to skip the balance of that section, and hit a choice, delete, done, and I'm out. And so that's how keyboard navigation is supposed to work and how it does in 15.9.2. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate how a user would navigate that same pick list using screen reader. I'll go a little bit faster, but I'll pause long enough for the screen reader you to understand the screen reader. I'm going to use the screen reader is going to do the talking. So I'm going to kind of start in the same way. But from here, for the next just like 2 minutes, I'll let the screen reader do the talking. So stand by. I'm going to turn that on.
Web, Chrome.
Okay, so from search, I'm going to start.
Show filter board button, grid button, view options, WebEx meetings, system dialog, expand panel to system dialog, hide video view. Sorry, the WebEx window is popping up randomly, not sure why. So we're back here. I'm going to hit system go. View options button, admit save button, export to CSV, admit view options button, export to C, close button. 0, 0, manage pick lists button, list 3 items. What Chrome, search text field, new pick list button, edit my working list button. Delete my working list but close button. Manage button, pick list editor dot, new pick, edit my working list button. My working list, comp table, yellow, red, group, blue, navy, group, none, none, teal, green, yellow, orange, red, pink, not purple, not selected, purple, group. Edit projects near and go live, edit gate reviews, edit status, edit staffing issues, edit follow up for approval, follow up for approvals, comp edit text, S. Add choice button, leaving table, done button. Toggle selection, unchecked corporate : ART business unit / application,